As human beings, we exist in many realms of existence we participate in and we go in and out of. And if we're involved in consciousness raising or in exploring ourselves, we begin to be familiar with the variety of realms that any human being occupies, albeit not always with awareness. Just now, however, I'd like to focus briefly on two very important complementary elements of human existence: being and becoming. Being is that present state or quality of presence or selfness or reality that I can contact by coming in through a veil of tranquility or stillness, if you will, traditionally through contemplative or meditative practices. By cultivating the ability to be still in mind and body, by tolerating the lack of arising forms, be they thoughts or distractions of any kind. In this, then, traditionally, this place of being, or what has been known as the ground of being, is a kind of zero or a kind of flat line. And if you inhabit that place, then there is a refreshing aspect to it, a rest, a profound stillness that engenders a deep relaxation. It also isn't, and this is the difference between it and, say, putting on a relaxing tape of music or a massage, all of which, of course, is beneficial, potentially. But here you find that something equivalent to those things, or the benefit from those things, actually is within you and available at any time. To return to the place of being, then, we may need a practice, or we may simply close eyes, be still in a quiet room, in a quiet outside space, and breathe, and cultivate over time the ability to be with ourselves with nothing whatsoever arising. Now, I have given elsewhere on this our Center for Human Awakening channel, the consciousness exercise, which is directly addressing this business of inner stillness or emptiness or being. Out of the ground of being, or this sphere of nothing occurring at all, is becoming, in the sense that we experience as arising forms. These forms are mental, emotional, energetic, physical, material. They arise as ourselves, and they arise in appearance as other, or both. And what tends to happen, of course, is you and I become beguiled by these arising forms. We see no other. We are distracted in the drama and the play of consciousness, the realm of becoming. We set things in motion even, and these things we set in motion become more things and then other things as they progress, as they form even more things. It's an experience in traditional meditation, you may have had it, that if you try and bring an antipathy or a conflict or resistance, should we say, to a thought in order to be thoughtless, paradoxically what arises is more thoughts, which you then have to chop the head off of, and then more thoughts arise, and more and more and more. Far better then to yield, far better to simply allow thoughts to come, to go through, to go. Far better to do that than to create a block and then wonder why you now have a conflict which is giving rise to any number of further entities or arising forms. This is the nature of becoming. The nature of becoming is, once I create one leads to two, you see, 4, 8, it just keeps proliferating and so on. Ultimately, from the spiritual point of view then, the distraction in arising forms and their proliferation is dissatisfying, because we get concerned with arising forms in and of themselves. And we seek, of course, there's a longing for a fulfillment in heart satisfaction, and we don't find it in those forms, which ultimately are temporary and adapting to the circumstances and events that are created by the previous arising forms. This is why, in the process of becoming the distraction in arising forms in yourself and in apparent others, that you're very careful to dedicate or remain aware, or to see within all arising forms the being state itself, and it begins with you. This is the secret. The secret is no object or no thing in the world is important in and of itself, but you imbue it with importance and significance by reminding yourself, by considering and being aware of the being state that is pervading all arising forms. So don't ever see anything literally as just itself or just in the realms of appearance. Rather see it in the sense of its being imbued with truth, being imbued with emptiness, the being in the becoming gives it its spiritual significance.